Hello everyone, and welcome to WesterosCraft Walks. I am your host Kobe, and before I start this episode, I want to thank everyone for the feedback I got on the last episode. I got some tips from some people to help me improve, which I will follow as best as I can, but I'm sure I'll naturally improve over time. But in the end, I felt like everyone was happy that WesterosCraft Walks is back. So on to the second thing I want to say before we start. I want to thank Kark. He's a moderator on the server, and he made this amazing map that I will be using from now on. So on to the episode. Today we'll be looking at the lands of House Beesbury and their castle Honeyholt. Their lands surround the river Honeywine to the north of Old Town. In the southeast, their lands are also crossed by the Rose Road. It's the most important road in the Reach. It starts in King's Landing, passes through High Garden and ends in Old Town. And this town that was built along the road got rich off of its trade. The castle is located in the centre next to the river, and all the remaining surrounding lands are dotted by chandleries, meaderies and hamlets. Before we start the walk, I want to say we won't be going everywhere in this video, so if you want to check it out by yourself, you can go on the server and type this in the chat, which will teleport you right to the castle. So we are starting off here in this little hamlet on the east side of the river. This is one of the lower class houses. You can see it by how they use the wood in the walls. And as we come out, we are greeted by a nice little apple tree. And there's also a nice little patch of sunflowers over there. You will see that a lot in this episode, a lot of flowers and a lot of fruit trees. Now move along on the road through this village. Let's check out this house. So this must be a cooper. You can see all the barrels that he's making there. A cooper, for those who don't know, is a barrel maker. Just go through his house and follow the road along. I think this is near the end of this little hamlet. Over there we can see our next destination, and these are the stables. And it seems over there is where the stable boy lives. Okay, we will now move along to the meadery. As you might have guessed, the lands of House Beesbury are known for their honey-related products, such as mead and candles, and honey, of course. It looks like we have a nice little outside bakery oven here. Let's have a look inside. Here you can see the big copper tubs where they make the mead in. I believe it's a similar process to making beer. So now we'll go down again. We have a nice little crate of honey here. And this is the storage area with the big barrels of mead. And outside here is where they keep the bees. You can see some flowers around to help them get the nectar to make the honey. And that's why there are also so many fruit trees around, good for the bees to collect their nectar. Some stables over there, and this is the house where the workers live in. Let's go through here, a little kitchen, and some more fruit trees. They have a whole garden here as well. Let's see if we can find a little shortcut back to the road. Let's jump this little wall here. And are these berries? Looks like more berries. I think this should lead us back to the road. This is the road. And it also looks like they keep some livestock here. And now I've got a little walk ahead of me to get to our next destination. We are now near the river, and just across the river is the castle, as you can see over there. There's a nice stone bridge to cross the river. This river is called the Honeywine, and originates in that direction at Brightwater Keep, and if you keep going in this direction it will lead you to Old Town. And also from here we have a nice view of the castle. It is a real nice looking castle, and also a strong looking one. They dug this moat around the castle, and when they finished they built a little channel to connect it to the river, so the moat would fill up. So you have this nice little moat here with all the lily pads and the kind of what are those things called, like the swamp grass. We are not going in the castle yet. I'm gonna take you on a little route around it first to explore the countryside. You do get some nice views from here of the castle. We have arrived in another little hamlet. This one is a farming hamlet, and it's completely surrounded by farmland. Here you can see some more flowers. And these are quite nice little houses, as you can see. You've got a nice stone foundation and the whitewashed dub and wattle on top. They have a nice sized garden as well. So this is the whole hamlet. And over there you can see the castle through the trees. I'll have a look in one of these houses. I'll go in here. They have a nice little ditch outside. Seems lower class, this house. Got a nice little fireplace, some beds. Here you can see the difference between different classes. So the lower class has the wooden houses, and the higher class has the nice white dub and wattle. Yeah, you can see here the difference. This one looks nicer than the one we were in before. When I say higher class, I don't mean they're high class, they're just higher than the previous house we went in. Here again we find a nice little field of flowers for the bees. There's a lot of crops here as well. I'll have a look in the house over there if we can get to it. Lots of cabbage and pumpkins here. This one seems quite nice and bigger than the other ones. Yeah, this must be one of the wealthiest people in this hamlet. You got 2 floors for the people. Nice bedrooms. Oh, and I think this is a little bed for the baby. We must have a baby as well. Now I'll head back outside. Oh no, I'm gonna go the other way. Oh, it's a little stable. Must have animals as well. This is a proper farmhouse. More stables and fruit trees. Okay, let's jump this hedge. Where will we end up? Oh, is this the road? Can I get to the road? It's a nice little orchard though with some apples. And now we'll head to the next meadery. So this meadery is a bit bigger than the one we started off at. Has some nice crops outside as well. And this is the courtyard. These are the houses of the workers, and this is one of the storage areas. They have the wood for the kettles or the tubs, or I don't know what they call these, for the meat, to brew the meat in. I think these are other houses for the workers. I don't know what this is. Oh, also storage. I think this is where they store the raw ingredients. Then over here there's another storage with like huge barrels of meat. So this was our little trip to the big meadery. Now we'll head back and head for the castle. We have come across a chandler, so we'll have a look inside these little buildings. This is the workshop where they make the candles. You can see the wax. They heat this wax up and then they dip the rope inside it, and some of the wax will harden around it. Then they dip it again once it's hardened to add layers on layers, and that's how they make the candles. So if that was the workshop, this must be the house. It looks like a normal house. Got an upstairs, sleeping areas. Okay, let's head out and be on our way. House Beesbury has had some notable characters during the ages. One was Master of Coin in King's Landing when the Targaryens still were kings, and another made an appearance in the Tales of Duncanegg at the tourney of Ashford. This is a nice villa in the countryside. This villa is used for the aging members of the noble family, so they don't stay in the castle but they can have a nice retirement in the countryside, and they have their own little gardens and beehives. They have their own little house, but they still have servants, of course. And you can see it here, someone has a wheelchair. And if we go out the back here, we can see they have their own little entrance to the forest. Let's see if we can find the path through the forest. You should be able to find it. Yeah, there it is. You can see we're heading back to the castle. You can see one of the towers there. A lot of beech trees here. And there's a bakery oven here in the middle of the path, next to some beehives. I'm not sure what this bakery oven is doing here all by itself, but they're baking some bread, so it's in use. And here we are in the little village at the entrance of the castle. We'll have a look inside here. Nice little houses, and that's a sept over there, I think. We'll check that out later. I'll have a look in this direction first. We can go in this house. Looks similar to the ones in the countryside. Nice flowers, nice little gardens at the back. Little outside working area. I do like this, how they split it up between the top and the bottom over there. Yeah, it's a nice little touch. Let's have a look inside the sept now. Yeah, it was a nice sept. A blacksmith here. And a statue here in the middle of the square with the stables, and it's time to go to the castle now. You can see the moat here. the colours of House Beesbury at the entrance. This is the bridge that they can pull up in case they're under siege. And we're finally in the castle. This is the courtyard. You can see it's quite high walls all around. We'll have a look inside the garden first. This is where they keep the animals. There's buildings all around here. And this is the garden. Well, if this was real life, I wouldn't really want to be here because it's filled with beehives and a lot of flowers for them to get nectar. You can see we have all kinds of beehives here. We have some in the wall here, just some normal ones there, surrounded by flowers, and we saw that big one in the beginning. And we'll head through here, see where this leads. It's a kitchen. Nice big kitchen with a big fire. And this is the pantry where they keep all the food. It's quite big. It's a nice size. This must be the grain silos, yeah. Use this to get out. This is a statue of Ellen Eversweet, who was the founder of House Beesbury, and it said she is a daughter of Garth Greenhand, who was a High King of the First Men. And a lot of houses from the Reach claim their ancestry from him. This is what looks like the audience chamber. Here's the dining hall. It looks quite empty at the moment. No tables. But the dais is still here. This dining hall has a nice ceiling. So what I was telling earlier about the founder of the house, Ellen Eversweet, there's actually legend surrounding her, so I'll read that now. So according to legend, she loved honey so much that she sought the king of bees in his vast mountain hive and made a pact with him to care for his children and his children's children for all time, becoming the first beekeeper. Okay, I got a bit lost. I'm not sure where I am. It is a good sign of a castle that you can get lost in it. I'll just go up here, see where this leads to. And oh! Well, it was a good one. I think this is the Lord's chamber. It definitely looks like a Lord's bed. Now I just need to find the rookery. I finally found the right place. This is the Maester's room, so that means up here must be the rookery. Let's go. And yes, finally I found the rookery. Well, that means the end of this episode. I hope you have enjoyed it, but before you go, I have a surprise for you guys. A little card should pop up right around now in the top right corner, And if you click on that, you can help decide which project the next episode will be on. So you get 3 options, and the one with the most votes will be the next episode.